And the 22nd of September has rolled round, and we're back. Welcome back, Owen.
Welcome.
If you're new, you're all new now.
The-
6 months ago, we were all friends.
Yeah, you
Well-
all knew that it would all be new.
Do you want to stop now? Should we
Uh,
stop? This is the Long Hop Cricket Podcast. I'm Dave. Owen's sat beside me. I wonder if I would have. It's currently 12:30 on Saturday. This is going to go out on the Sunday because I made that video saying
Yeah.
trying to hype
I
it
don't.
up.
Yeah, shouldn't have really put a deadline. Should
No,
you?
no, it was a mistake.
You should have just said it was coming back.
Yeah, sometime soon.
Next time we quit. We never quit, did we? We just stopped doing it, which isn't quitting. There's two different things.
Yeah.
There's
We actually did.
fatigue.
We did record an episode,
Oh my god!
We
So
didn't
we've
go
got a
out.
recorded one.
but Owen, you were sat hunched over and that, pretty much watching.
Oh, is that the one?
Yeah.
Yeah. That shouldn't be put out there.
But like I said, it's.
That can be a rainy day one.
I don't even know if it's saved.
Oh my god.
Just wasted hours.
We should, quite a lot's happened in the cricketing world since we've
If
been away.
the podcast was going to go big, it would have gone big this year, wouldn't it? Really. I'm wondering now if there's new artwork on the channel. There's supposed to be for tomorrow. There's also supposed to be
I'm not having those pictures you sent me going on there.
there's also supposed to be a new intro, but I
Yeah.
haven't made that.
Well, you will have, because they'll have heard it at the start of this. They'll have heard that intro, because we didn't do one.
I still have to go and create that.
Yeah, but it's not that difficult.
That's why I said the 22nd. They're giving loads of time to do it, and now
Yeah.
it's the 22nd. We're no closer. Well, I was supposed to buy new equipment, and then my card got stolen. It didn't get stolen.
Well,
People took it.
did you say car then?
Card.
Your card? Yeah.
So,
So lucky, innit?
so it's just back, isn't it?
Do you think we sound like we want to be here?
I'm nervous.
I'm not nervous. No one's going to listen to this one. It's going to take 3 or 4, and then people will start listening again.
Yes.
Well, I say that.
Again, I like that.
Yeah.
Well, I thought we'd talk about the Ashes and the summer. Not the summer.
was
just the
thinking,
Ashes.
What was the last thing we covered?
That's a good question.
Was it England West Indies?
Was that the last tour?
And we
It
were
was.
we were just negative,
Yeah.
and we hated them.
The England team.
Yeah. And by the way, I saw
that
comments on the
Yeah, I've seen comments. I'm
On
not
your-
happy with.
on the video you did hyping up this podcast,
Yeah. Did
which
you
they're
like-
going to be disappointed about now listening
The
to
music
our tone.
was so good. on
It
that.
it was. I did enjoy it.
Just
Did get me quite amped. Bit annoyed you didn't get me to have something to do with
I-
it. You just put your own little voice on there. But people underneath as well were like, I remember when you didn't like Stokes.
Yeah.
You used to hate him. I had nothing to do with making that video. Just so you know,
Well, that's true. Yeah.
I wouldn't have featured in mine.
And do you know why I made that video straight after the third test rather than after the Ashes? Because I thought we were going to get battered for the next 2 games.
Yeah.
I thought get the hype machine going now,
Yeah, good thinking.
not then.
It's good. You're good at media.
But I owe a lot to that video to the DX theme tune. Are you ready?
It was good.
Yeah. And
People thought if you had any
I don't know. I haven't
emails
checked my emails, but
saying like, take it down.
I think Vincent Mann would probably be a bit upset.
Down. Some Lord of the Rings, isn't it?
Never really properly watched them.
You watched The Hobbits, haven't you?
Yeah, but I couldn't tell you what happens in them. Could not tell you what happens. So yeah, we're back, and it's all because of Ben Stokes,
No, it's not. It's got nothing to do with Ben Stokes. We did win the World Cup,
which would have been
sort
great.
of. Not really.
We didn't win it though, did we?
We didn't win the World Cup. We're
No.
still undecided. It's going to carry over to the next one.
Yeah, it's just
no
a
one
tied
won. No
cup.
one won this one. No one won this World
Nobody
Cup.
won this Ashes either.
No.
Australia sprayed themselves with champagne for what? A draw. You spent 6 months over it and you haven't
That's
won
got to
anything.
be the worst. First of all, retaining the Ashes is rubbish. As in,
yeah.
not winning it.
yeah.
You just retain it. That's pants. And then the last game you lose to retain it. That's completely takes all the fun out of everything.
What I think is funny is that because of the World Cup, Australia have had to spend pretty much their whole lives in England.
Yeah. True.
And they've walked away with nothing.
Yeah.
apart from a cheating captain.
Yeah, I still don't understand
He's not their captain though.
why,
no.
like, everyone just forgets about that.
But do
It's
you like
amazing
it?
if you do well in it. Do well with a bat, everyone forgets.
Do you like it how the other cheaters didn't really get anything? David Warner was just Stuart Broad's
Yeah,
bunny, and then Bancroft played 2 games a game. He got axed. He got sandpapered out of it, scratched
yeah.
out,
He got,
shaved off,
worn down.
worn down. David Warner.
Shane Warne. They could do with him.
I feel like Ian Ward would be good on this podcast.
Remember when we ripped him because he smells of smoke?
Ian Ward's a bit slimmer than I remember him used to be. I don't know how he's got. Oh, also news.
Yeah.
2 spaces. This is why this podcast is back, not because of Ben Stokes.
There's 2 spaces. What are we stopping? There's
2
2 available spots on the podcast.
There'll be 2 available when we move on to Pastures New. There's 2 new available spots in Sky Sports Cricket commentary team.
Get the. Oh yeah.
Beefy
We
and
can have them.
David Gower.
Yeah, guys, if you're listening, Sky Sports.
Yeah,
Just someone.
we're
just
very reliable,
Take it. Yeah. Well, no, we would
consistent.
be. If we
Yeah,
got
we would
paid.
be. What
If we got paid, I'd start to hate it and then want to quit. Well, that's what would happen.
would you do the away tours?
No.
No.
Just do it from here.
Yes.
We'll do it from here. We'll watch it on the telly. And do
Stop.
the
You know, when
commentary
Joe Rogan's
from
like,
here.
I just
want to be here with you guys talking about stem cells and how I hate running, but I do it anyway. And how I work harder than you, even though I don't really do anything. I just sit and talk.
There's all these great fights out there, but it's just nothing better than just sitting here and talking about
Yeah.
not the fights with you.
If you've never listened to one before, you're not really going to know what we're talking about because they're my boys.
Yeah.
I was watching the T20s, the cup,
Oh,
the
yeah.
finals day. Worcester got to the final, lost
Yeah.
from the last ball.
We don't support Worcester anymore, but news, we've moved to Cornwall since.
Yes.
We've moved to Cornwall, so we actually support Somerset now.
Is that the nearest? It
I
would
don't
be,
know,
wouldn't it?
but I like Somerset.
So I don't know if Surrey's no, probably I
It
don't
is
know.
probably the nearest to us now.
No, they play in Southampton, don't they? The AGS Bowl, which is Surrey. So I believe we would be Surrey fans.
We are Surrey fans.
Jason Roy.
Yeah, so that's nearest to where we are. Yeah, I do miss Worcester a bit, but you can't beat the seaside, can you?
You can't believe that quality of life we've got.
I know. That's why that's why we haven't been doing it, because we moved.
It was a stressful move, but
It was a stressful move.
That's why we haven't been able to get the new equipment because
It was the house was so expensive, so massive.
I can't tell you what it's like to have a private beach. You won't know what it's like at home. You won't know what that's like. And
We're not really talking about cricket here, are we?
there's a massive Danny Longlegs in here.
Yeah. Is anyone actually bothered about? Could anyone explain to me the point of them?
Danny Longlegs.
Yeah. What do they do? What are they here to do? What's their function?
Just get into like rooms where there's light.
Just to randomly land on your face when you don't want them to. That's literally what they're here for. Look at him. He's just hunting for someone's face to land on.
He's
Pointless.
huge.
Did you hear that as a kid, that they're like the most deadly thing in the world? But
Yeah,
they don't know
yeah.
how to get this out.
Yeah. Is that true?
No.
There's a lot of venom in there.
It's like Ben Stokes can bat. Like, no, it's not true.
Um,
You hear it a lot. It's not true.
I was watching all this Ben Stokes stuff, and actually, we had a few comments saying, "Oh,
Good
what?"
head movement.
We were saying, people were saying, "Oh,
Southpaw. That stands.
I tell you what, there was a great like meme picture after the Ben Stokes game
Right.
of the CCTV footage of Ben Stokes staring over the body he just punched, but with the England badge on his face and the Australian badge on the bloke's face that he punched. Oh, that was great.
I would love it if we got on the Sky Sports
Oh,
just to see how like obvious you could make it. Like, wow, he really got his right hand through that one. Turned over a right hook through the ball there. And like Steve Smith batting. It's like, you got to look after your bat. You know, there's lots of different things you can use. Steve knows. I know which one Steve likes to use.
Oh, and you swore.
Yeah.
Demonetised.
Oh,
Anyway,
yeah, demonetised.
here's a top fact for you.
Top fact.
Ben Stokes supposed to be the saviour of cricket.
Right.
Paul Collingwood averaged more than him. Considerably more. And what?
That's what I'm saying. Okay, can you answer me yes or no question?
Go on then.
Ben Stokes, is he a myth? Yes or no?
Yes.
Yeah, I think I would agree with you.
He's a Red Bull fiery mist
He's just,
of punches.
it's just,
That's kind of forgotten now, isn't
he
it?
could be from Street Fighter. Yeah, he could be a good Street Fighter character. He looks like Paul from Tekken.
Anyway, this is the standard of Test cricket at the moment in England. Matt Pryor averaged more than Ben Stokes,
Matt Pryor was very good.
but then people are
Ben Stokes here so with the average, he just gets one really good important score every couple of years. It's like KP. Just KP was around for longer, so his average got better.
Oh, it's huge.
Dude, you can't scream like that down a microphone.
Sorry,
That was you that screamed,
yeah,
not
I know.
me.
That is huge.
Did you see that? There's no way.
Mics.
Should we talk about the Ashes?
Let's talk about those
Oh, he's back.
Ashes. I thought we would run off that. We actually haven't got a scorecard in front of us. We're just doing this off the bat, if you like.
Yeah.
Excuse the pun.
Go on then.
I thought we'd talk about the England team and what you made of it, the players that featured for.
I don't think it's changed much
Really, it
with
hasn't,
the
has it?
short break that we've had from it.
But if we look at Jennings, so our openers started off as Rory Burns and Jason Roy. What did you think about Jason Roy's inclusion into the England squad?
I think he is like quite a good summary of the whole
Of
batting
it.
lineup.
He's a summary of England Test cricket, isn't he?
Because it's just
He
like
really is.
he can do it in 50 overs.
No
Let's put
problem.
him in the Test team.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
that's just we don't have. I don't think we've got a single Test batsman. Like Joe Root could be, but
he's not.
he doesn't do it very often.
No, when was the last time he scored a match-winning 100?
Well, he doesn't have to be match winning. He just has to get 100 in getting 100 in like 270 balls or something like that.
You like them, don't you?
Just doesn't happen.
No, it doesn't. Not in this team.
And
This is the worst England team I've ever known.
it's the worst batting lineup.
Yeah, batting lineup.
It's
There's
shocking.
one player averages over 40. That's terrible.
That is terrible. That is really bad.
Like, even if you look at that 2005 team, they had young players, unproven players like KP and Ian Bell, and also they had a Garrett Jones who wasn't very
Yeah,
good.
Ian Bell, Garrett Jones.
That
Shocking.
team is still better than this team by a long shot.
Yeah, but I mean, all round. I mean, that's a terrible. You can't compare them. That bowling attack, England's bowling attack in that 2005,
Yeah, well,
just smokes of this bowling attack.
But I'm talking just batsmen.
I tell you, England haven't had a spinner since we started the podcast.
Yeah.
Would you take Ashley Giles?
No, I'm quite happy with Leachy.
Yeah.
Unfortunately,
He looks like a test batsman. He looks like the only one who knows what he's doing.
Unfortunately, I never saw Ashley Giles play before 2005. He kind of didn't have much of a career afterwards. But let's go back to that batting lineup. We saw Jason Roy and Rory Burns. What do you think, Rory Burns? I think he averaged 40 over the series. Did he get himself 100 and
Yeah.
a couple of 50s? Was it? Was it a 90 odd?
It's so
He might not have got 100. That might.
I find it really hard to be positive just because it's so embarrassing. As soon as Australia got past 120 runs, it's like, oh well, we're in a world of trouble now.
Yeah.
It's like if they get over 200, like call it a day there because there's no way we're competing.
And this was a really good series, but the quality wasn't there from either side.
Batting,
and
I'd love to have seen Australia if they didn't have Steve Smith.
yeah, that would have been they would have been really poor. Although I did quite like that Labuschagne.
Yeah, they
looked-
found
he
something
looked
there,
really
didn't they?
good.
Because
Hated his hair. It's weird.
he only got picked because
Steve
Smith
Smith.
got crap. That was nasty.
Yeah, that was a nasty
England have found a bowler though, haven't they?
one. Yeah, they have. Yeah.
That's quite good. We've
Yeah, I
actually
find-
got someone who can properly bowl quick. Whereas the speed is actually the thing about his bowling.
Yeah, and I think Jofra Archer is a skilled bowler. He's not like we've had quick bowlers who could bowl really quick. Do you remember when Sajid Mahmood played?
Yeah, I don't think
But
they're
Jofra,
as quick as him. He
No.
seems to be
yeah, no,
like properly sharp.
and I think he actually bowls. He is a talent that can bowl across all three formats, but he can bowl a test innings, can't he? Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean? He can bowl
Yeah.
in that format rather than perhaps a Liam Plunkett who would.
Or a Wood who
Or a
does
Mark
6
Wood.
overs and gets injured.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it seems to me that Jofra Archer
He's a good find.
is cut out for Test
Yeah.
cricket, and that's a great find. That is. Unfortunately, our batting lineup hasn't quite covered, but I do think Rory Burns had a good series. It wasn't outstanding, but it was good. He was probably
The
our best
problem is
batsman.
with the batting is it doesn't seem like there's a solution or a future to it.
Do you know what I'm really hoping for? Which I think perhaps let's go into this conversation now. Being a podcast and all.
Yeah.
This was the last series we see Trevor Bayliss.
Yeah.
And for all Trevor Bayliss has done for the white ball game, which is amazing, we won the World Cup, we drew the World Cup.
Yeah.
He's taken us to a T20 World Cup final where Ben Stokes lost us it and then went on a beating up streak afterwards.
Yeah. All forgotten. You all right, mate?
I thought it was down there. Where is he?
I don't know. Get on with it. He's not a member of the podcast. He shouldn't get this much airtime.
Anyway, I do think that the philosophy that was in that team and the England forgot or couldn't grasp what Test match batting was. It was almost like they were lost in like a middle ground between ODI games and
I don't
Test
care
cricket.
who your coach is. That England batting lineup isn't very good.
But do you not think it was even the way they were getting at, even like, because if you look at that batting lineup, you got Ben Stokes, Johnny Bairstow, Joss Butler.
I think, like we've said before,
Roots.
it makes no sense that you've got the same coach for
No,
all
yeah, it
of the
doesn't.
formats.
But
That's stupid.
I've got a feeling that that if something, it might just be pointing fingers, but if something was to be sorted out, as in the mentality around that or the way that they set up, we saw some really stupid things under Trevor Bayliss. And perhaps it wasn't his, perhaps it was the selectors. But we've seen, Johnny Bairstow open. We've seen Moeen Ali, who played the first game, has now had to go out and say, I'm taking a break from Test cricket because he's been spread too thin. They've asked him to do every position under the sun. We've seen him open. We've seen Johnny Bairstow open. We've seen players, Ben Stokes bat at 3.
I think it says something to how shallow
the
the talent pool is.
But then
for
I also
England batsmen.
think if you have got talents, even if the rest of the team are poor, you've got to play those talented players in their preferred positions. You can't just move them around to try and bodge
that's
the batting
right,
lineup.
but like Johnny Bairstow,
Had a bad series. With the
is
bat.
he good enough?
Well,
It's like it just years now. Like he will. But right, maybe he needs like Ian Bell, like Graham Swan. Like go away from the game, go back to the county, have a couple of years there, and come back again.
I think
That can do players. That can change players. That can when they come back.
I think Johnny Bairstow. I think we got to take the gloves off him.
That doesn't make any sense to me when you got Joss Butler in the team.
Yeah.
Why Bairstow keeps wicket makes no sense to me.
I think because people get upset that Johnny Bairstow isn't at the moment giving anything with the bat.
So
That
imagine that as a reason.
But no, but what I'm
Let's
saying.
give Roy the gloves. He's doing terrible with the bat.
No,
Give him something to do.
what I'm saying is we need to make him a specialist test match batsman and say you don't have to worry about the gloves.
He is a batsman. He should be. He should be.
What Jason Roy's future in the England team?
Is limited overs,
Yeah, it's not.
isn't it?
It's not test match, is it? Hasn't got that.
I don't know enough about county cricket, but there
Yeah.
really has to be some talent in 4-day games and stuff
We have
for
seen.
us to like. We need to try some people out.
We have seen talented players come through, but at a very young age. But we've also seen we've seen the decline of players at a
What?
very young age. I thought your mic wasn't plugged in.
That's all right, mate. What happened to the fellow we liked when he played?
That's it.
in Indi- Yeah,
He's been dropped by his county.
is he? That's a shame.
His Lancashire have said we're not continuing your contract.
Really?
This is a man who's scored a Test match 50
Yeah.
in his first game, and he broke his finger in the second innings or whatever it was, and he played. He got 2 50s, and it looked like he was one for the future, and we were gonna. That was the series where we've on this podcast said we don't have to worry about the openings because Jennings scored a Test match 100, and
I don't think I ever said that about Jennings.
Hamid had 2 50s to his name. We were like, right, that's it. We're so much stronger now than we've ever been in the last 5 years for Test match openers.
So Hamid is just. That's so bizarre that. Well,
Since that finger injury he picked up in that game,
in that series,
yeah.
yeah.
he hasn't been able to find any sort of form. Hasn't been able to play consistently. And hasn't been able to make any sort of runs.
That's brutal, isn't it?
But we've seen other players come through. Wesley. These are all noted on the county scene as being, balance.
Oh,
I know-
think
I know.
Balance had his day, innit?
With Jennings.
I didn't know that Ben Stokes from New Zealand. Did you know that?
Yeah.
Why don't we take advantage of this in football?
We kind of do, though, don't we?
Go on, name an England football player who's from a different country. Zaha play for England, or did he choose
No.
Ivory Coast?
Yeah, I don't think is he Ivory Coast? Is he
Think
from the
so.
Ivory Coast? He doesn't. I don't think he is. But we've got Irish players, haven't we? Declan Rice.
Yeah, he's rubbish though. Why don't we poach someone like Ronaldo or
Ryan
someone like
Giggs.
that? Yeah, or like Gareth Bale. Why didn't we poach him when he became good? Like, yeah, we know you.
22 minutes.
Oh,
We're live. Not live. Your mic plugged in.
what counts as live? If this was streaming,
Yes, streamed.
right?
Joe Root at 3.
Well, we argued for it for ages, didn't we? So I don't think we can complain now he's put there. I don't know who else is going to go there.
It would be interesting because to say, lots of people say it's not his preferred position, but he wasn't making heaps of hundreds at 4.
Exactly.
He's-
And we don't have a 3.
No.
And I'll tell you what I do like. I know I like to have a go at Stokes. It's fun.
Mm.
But I like the fact now where it's like,
He's a batsman now.
yeah,
Yeah.
we just pick him as a batsman. But like, yeah, I don't want to see him bowling.
Yeah. No, I don't think.
I don't want to see him bowling. I know he does take wickets sometimes, but I'm not a fan of his bowling. And he definitely, obviously has the ability to be able to bat.
Mm-hmm.
So give him more chances, especially when we don't. It's not like we're trying to squeeze him into a batting lineup. It's like we don't have any batsmen.
Yeah, I'm
so
with you on that.
yeah, may as well.
I think so. The top 3, we got Burns, Roy, Root. Burns had the better series. Root's picked up some runs, 50s. Hasn't
He's
made
got
100.
Has he got a couple of 80s? Did he get? He did.
Yeah, I think he got.
one.
Yeah, I think he got. But then there was another name there which batted 4 for a while, and then is now opening for England, or opened in the last game at least. Was Joe Denley, who had a better series towards the end. He showed actually a bit of Test match prowess, if you like, some Test match
Yeah.
skills. He's an older player for England, but without perhaps more like a Graham Swan who's done it a lot at county level. it'll be interesting. I hope he opens with Rory Burns come the next series, come New Zealand.
He deserves it. I don't know who's going to take his place.
No, I don't think anybody is. But again, he didn't set the world alight. But I do think we are saying these players didn't set the world alight. I do think the Australian bowling lineup was very strong.
They do have a very good bowling.
You've got
lineup.
Hazelwood, Cummins. Hazelwood bowled fantastic throughout the series, I thought. Hazelwood, Cummins. You've got Stark, who came in. He actually wasn't as effective as they probably would have wanted him. You know, there's a crazy stat out there that he's got a fantastic average, or a pretty good average, but the majority of his wickets are 8, 9, 10, 11.
Are they?
Yeah. It's actually against the top 4. It's a pretty poor bowling average he's got.
Well, I mean, yeah. I mean, it's not. I guess it doesn't really. If you take consistent wickets, no one really cares who you're taking, do they?
Well, it's interesting.
You need to get the whole team out.
Mitchell Stark was. We've seen him as like a favourite of Australia. But
What's weird is
he
that
didn't
he's
play
an
much.
opening bowler, and those are the wickets he's taking.
And he's fast, left arm.
Yeah,
If it's going to swing.
that's going to be horrible, though, isn't it? For
Yeah.
the last like 4 batsmen.
Yeah, it's going to be.
Someone who bowls close to 90 left arm.
But I was really impressed with Hazelwood throughout the tour. He's someone that would knock out. You know, even knock out he would knock Stuart Broad out of the team. Even though we'll get on to Broadie's series, but he would fit into that England team no matter who was fitting.
Yeah.
He would just come straight into that England team, and there would be no.
Do you think any
chatting
of
about
the Australian, apart from Steve Smith,
Yeah,
any of the Australian batsmen that would be like,
we'd have that Labuschagne in a heartbeat. We'd
yeah,
have Labuschagne
yeah,
bat 3
yeah,
for us.
okay,
Put Joe Root to 4.
yeah,
Obviously, Steve Smith. Khawaja it's been a name we've known for ages now. He was supposed to be the new Ricky Ponting, wasn't he, at one point? And he's not someone that I've ever really been that impressed with.
who are the world class batsmen now? There's not that.
Kumar Sangakkara?
There's not that many of them, is there?
Well, you've got the top.
Because it used to be teams would have 4 or 5.
Well,
Now it's like.
Yeah, there are at least 2 or 3. 3, 3, wouldn't they?
And now it's like.
Like even Sri Lanka had 3.
There's
and they were
3
a
or
brand
4
new
in the
team.
world now.
There's a top 3, isn't there? Which is you've got Steve Smith, who I think is the best batsman in the world at the moment.
Be hard to argue against.
Like his series.
They need to like measure the width of his bat because
Yeah.
how anyone's trusting him. But
It's disgusting to see him bat. Like it's grim watch.
he looks terrible.
It's just like some of the shots he plays that everyone's like, oh, it's like a West Indies flair. It's like, no, it's just like his body's all sprawled out all over the crease and he's down basically doing a press up while playing a cover drive. Steve Smith is the best batsman in the world, and you've got Virat Kohli, and then you've got Kane Williamson.
Yeah,
That's it. Those 3. You have got world class players, but not to the.
but they could have been in one team like 10 years ago.
Yeah, and in fairness, those 3 10 years ago with the likes of Ricky Ponting, Kumar Sangakkara, they would still be up there with them. It's the drop off you have for the rest of the players.
Yeah, that's
Like,
a good point.
Even Joe Root.
Yeah, because Joe Root was up. He was one of the
Joe Root
he was in there. He was making it a 4,
Yeah,
and it's like, well, he could possibly get to number 1,
Joe Root was
and then it sort of just dropped off.
was at least top 3, probably knocking Kane Williamson out, and then fighting it over with Virat Kohli for second. Or Virat Kohli's probably him and Steve Smith. Joe Root's had his moment of being effectively England's best ever batsman, but that's kind of dwindled in the last 2. Since we started doing this podcast, really, that's kind of like we haven't seen that from Joe Root, but we've seen it from those other 3 players who are the top 3. You have got good batsmen. You've got around the world, but they're where's it gone?
It's on the sofa. This is great.
It's huge.
It's not really.
I think I should.
What?
What do you think?
Mate, you can't just stand there looking at it. You're doing a podcast.
Is it?
At least talk to them about it.
Do you want me to put him on?
What?
He's fine though, isn't he? He'll be fine.
Yeah, he's just chilling out. He's just having a
Do
look.
you think he wants to go for a little sleep?
Oh, he's coming back over, mate.
All right, he's gone in the light now. He's seen the light.
Apart from the Ashes, have you got anything else to talk about?
No.
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 We should really have missed the World Cup and the Ashes, should we?
Not if we wanted this podcast to grow.
Those are two massive events. Sugar Shane Mosley. Look.
No, if we wanted this podcast to grow and then for us to... Though I do think it's strange.
I think the intro's killing it.
Yeah.
I hope it is. Doesn't exist yet.
No. I've written down some quotes that... Well, we'll let them...
Okay. Yeah, you've ruined it.
We'll let them. But I think we did get together before, and even not after the World Cup. It wasn't the. We weren't going to. It was after the World Cup final. I said, "Oh well, should we get it back together?" And you were like, "Yeah, that's a good idea." It wasn't really the Ashes that spurred us back. But I think, if we're honest, I enjoyed the podcast, but then at that time I didn't that much.
I think when you it's sort of getting busier, and then it's
Yeah,
like
it was
trying to squeeze it in.
Yeah.
And you just
Because when it started to take the downfall, we had both got new jobs, hadn't we? Really?
And the move.
Well, the move's rejuvenated.
Yeah,
our-
well, now it's all settled down. You know, I'm used to Cornwall now.
It's just that sea air.
It's so nice.
Sparks creativity.
Yeah, I'm gonna just playing beach cricket.
And videoing it for content.
The best thing is when you get on the sand that's like
Wet.
yeah,
Mm.
and you get the tennis ball just like
Yeah.
just nipping off it.
Yeah,
it's
it's-
lovely.
But I like to kiss.
Yeah,
I like to just boil it so it just kisses the sand. Just zips through. Almost like on a dewy
it's hard
evening
to get it
under
to
the
turn
lights.
though on sand.
Yeah, it
It's
is,
just
yeah.
slow spin if anything.
Yeah.
And sometimes they can just sit up. If you go short,
Yeah.
you're in a world of trouble.
Yeah.
You know, and people are more than willing to hit it in the sea, and
But
they won't go and get it.
The good thing is, though, is if you play 6 and out, because if you're playing in low numbers,
Right.
there's lots of running around. You might not want to do it. If you play 6 and out, you just get one to sit up
Yeah.
in a
that's
person's
just
bath
too
and their
tempting, isn't it?
eyes
Yeah.
light up, and then they spank it, and you're like, well, that got caught in the boundary.
Yeah.
What a life.
I love taking singles.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love the dab down single.
I love the run down the third man, the Kumasenga car.
The best, what, on the beach?
Yes. Just when when someone's hanging out somewhere off stump, and I'm just like, well, finding it hard to score, so I just run it down to third man. You know, and that tennis ball bounce, and you're just like, oh, that's a bit. Oh, I'll just run it down to third man because I still want to keep my attacking shots open.
Do you do the Steve Smith where you put your leg outside,
No,
put your foot outside leg stump, and then open your bat so you're playing with like a fifth of your bat and it clips the edge of it and runs down to third man?
I can't bear his cover drives. Is when he does that, almost like the splits. Yeah.
Yeah, it's rubbish.
It's like
he's pants. No one's come up with any ideas how to get him out.
No,
No, no one's just got to put. People just carry on.
A lot of
and just
people-
let him score. It's like, yeah, let him get on with it.
A
until
lot
he
of
gets
people,
out.
a lot of people were saying that Jimmy Anderson would have found success because of his ability to swing the ball.
Yeah, well, he always does. He always murders Australia when they come over.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
he's got injured and he's getting old now.
He is very old.
Yeah,
He's 37, 38.
yeah. So
Stuart Broad turned 33.
I think Jimmy Anderson could come off like 3 steps though, and he'd do
Yeah,
some
he
damage.
could.
He's still going to swing it.
How old was Glenn McGrath? He was younger than that.
He was
wasn't
like 55.
Let's move on to the next batting spots. Number 5 is Ben Stokes. We said that we've liked his inclusion as
Yeah, he should be a batsman.
and
now.
he's. What did you make of that special innings? Good
It
cricket.
was insane.
It was insane.
It was just insane.
I think it was. Was it 72 when Jack Leach came out to bat, and for Jack Leach to score one of those runs,
It was insane.
Ben Stokes played played that one shot, that reverse.
I think the thing
Switch
is,
it.
someone who is very, very good, like Ben Stokes is, once they're in and they have their eye in,
Yeah.
I think if you release pressure on someone like that, of that quality, I
They-
don't think you can bowl at him.
No.
I don't think you can bowl at him. I think anyone could have been bowling and put it anywhere. I think you're done. It's like I haven't played to a very high standard, but when you play and someone from a much higher standard comes way down
Yeah.
and plays, they could bat against good bowlers, and they just because all of the pressure is gone. Like a spinner, I reckon you could have the best spinner in the world playing in a Sunday Village team and get a batsman from county level to come and play on a Sunday, and they just smash them all over the park because they just don't care. And it's just like there's nothing you could have bowled at him that day.
No, what we haven't given Ben Stokes credit for previous, what we started to is that
This is jab. He got a very good jab.
Yeah.
He sets up the distance,
yeah.
and then people try and come inside it, and they don't know he's got a mean right hook.
But he actually I think in that innings it was the first 30 balls he scored one run because he had to do. I think it was that innings or was it the innings before, but it was like his first 100 balls he was going at a really slow pace, and then he understood. It's great game management. He was reading
Playing
the game
it like a test match,
perfectly.
like actually playing to the circumstance.
Which he is doing a lot more now, and that's great to see. And I think him batting 5 is perfect.
Yeah,
but that innings to say, that never give in attitude to 72 runs needed, and you've got to score 71 of them effectively.
I don't know if you can say it was a never give in.
Well,
because if he'd have got caught playing that shot, he just gave up. He was just trying to slap it, and that's just.
There were a few shots which only just went over the.
Yeah,
over
he hit quite a few.
fielders,
I was listening to it on the radio, which was just made it even better.
Yeah,
it was amazing. They were like, "Oh, he's not hit. He's hit that out the splice. He's gonna get caught. Let's go for six."
Yeah.
And they were going mental. It was. I mean, that's what you get with sport that you don't get with other stuff.
I don't
amazing.
know. I don't know if I've seen a better Test match innings in my time of watching cricket.
Okay. 2009, Monty Panesar.
Yeah.
Seeing out, Cardiff.
The one innings that comes to mind is a one-day international. Herschel Gibbs scored, I think it was 180 for the big 400 game for Australia and South Africa.
What about Alistair Cook? 2011, Down Under.
Yeah, they were great.
After we just Peter Siddle just taken a hat trick, England were in a world of trouble.
Yeah,
Andrew Strauss got like 160, and Alistair Cook got like 240 something. But Jonathan Trott got 180, and we were 500 and something for one. And you could just see people in the change go.
But I do the match situation of Ben Stokes winning that game. Was
incredible.
Was phenomenal. It was one of my favourite.
You could quite
days of watching cricket.
Comfortably say like that might not happen again.
Yeah, and lots of people are saying because there's lots of when the stats come up of England are in a bad position and they got to try and either save the day. Or they've got to try and go on. Could they win it? And lots of people say Botham's Ashes in '81.
Yeah.
Or Athers versus South Africa and versus Alan Donald saving the game.
Yeah.
We've actually got one for the present day of Ben Stokes versus Australia.
And I think that
goes down in that.
I'm not sure
bracket.
There have been ones with the bat to that extent. People have done it with the ball.
Yeah.
And that.
Well, Beefy did it with the bat and.
Yeah.
Bob Willis covered, went in with a ball afterwards and took those wickets. But that was one of the greatest innings.
Yeah, it was incredible. And if he can do that, he should be batting, especially in a weak batting side.
Yeah,
that guy should. I think 5 is a perfect spot for him.
I think 5's brilliant, especially when you say, "Do you know what? We've got a 5-match series." There might be one of the games where you'll bowl 15 to 20 overs when you're bowling really well. Otherwise, we'll just bowl you.
Yeah, he's like as an idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, or change it up. That's fine. But he's a batsman.
So he's your
he
he's
should
your fifth
be
bowler.
used like Ravi Bopara was.
Yeah.
It's like, let's give someone else a go, see what
Yeah,
because he can swing it when he bowls.
Yeah, and I think he's the kind of player that if he gets one early and the crowd get with him,
I don't want him to be known as an all-rounder, though.
no,
He's not an all-rounder. He's
he's
a batsman.
he should be a batsman.
Yeah.
Do you know what he should be? No, do you know who should? Moeen Ali should have his role as well. As being a batsman who, if
Moeen Ali should only have ever got in the England team as a batsman.
And then
That's the only way he should get in the England team.
if things are going well or we need a second spinner, then
No.
Moeen Ali can do that.
No.
Like if he's
I'll do that.
Anyway, let's move on to Josh Butler and his series. Didn't score many until the last. Was it the last test where he picked up some runs?
Him and Stokesy were pretty impressive in the World Cup final, though, weren't they?
Yeah. Well, this is not a World Cup.
I'm just saying that. I like Josh Butler. I think
I like Josh
he'd be a
Butler.
good captain.
Well, there's lots of chat about the captaincy.
Yeah, well, I'm sure I've said on the podcast, I don't like Joe Root as captain. He's got no aura of a captain at all.
No, he doesn't.
Like, imagine turning up.
He doesn't. It doesn't
Turning
show
up
it. Yeah.
and they're like, "Oh, where's the captain?" But it's the little lad over there. It's like, he's 12. What's he captain? Who put him in captain of the school team, let alone the international side? Can you imagine him in the changing rooms? Like, come on, boys. Like, speak up, Joe. I can't hear what you're saying.
Yeah, but the only problem is there another captain in that changing room?
Josh Butler.
But is
He
Josh
wanted to fight people. And no, I'm not saying him and Stokes should see who's got it. Fight for it.
really
Butler's got some fire about
Josh
him.
Butler's probably one of my, if not he's my favourite batsman in that team. I do like Josh. He is my favourite batsman. But I don't know if he's, there's questions over his place in the team, let alone whether he should be captain.
Well, he should be captain. That should be his place in the team.
Is there anybody else in that lineup you
No.
give captaincy to?
I think they've given it to Joe Root because
He's the best player.
he's got the most solid position.
Yeah.
And they can't give it to Stokes, can they?
He's beating
It's
somebody
like,
else. Do you think Steve Smith will eventually just chop that other bloke out and regain the captaincy for
Yes,
Australia?
of course he will. Yeah, the Australians don't care.
They don't, do they?
No, of course they don't. All they just care about winning. That's all they're bothered about. It was just like if anyone who follows rugby union, Eddie Jones, the England rugby coach,
Eddie Burns-Jones.
the first thing he did when he took over
Yeah.
was put Dylan Hartley as captain, renowned for like the nastiest, meanest guy in the England team.
Yeah.
Who just like fucking poke your eyes out, rip your ears off, and stamp on you. It's like, yeah, we're here to win. That's what we care about. It's like the Australia. That's their attitude. That's why they usually beat us. Their sporting culture is more, well, it's less forgiving.
Have you heard about the comments Alistair Cook has made in his book about David Warner?
No.
This is second information I saw on a Facebook post or a Twitter post or something
careful, mate.
like that. So
Be careful,
this
mate.
could be wrong. But in his book, apparently it says that he was in a changing room with David Warner and they were talking about how Warner had manipulated the ball in a county game.
Ooh.
So perhaps there'd been previous ground, which wouldn't surprise me.
No, of course not.
But you can't. You couldn't.
It's a bit dodgy to put that in your book. To be honest, I don't know.
You can't give it back to Steve Smith. You can't give. They will. Though.
They will. They absolutely will. Of course they will.
Yeah, they will.
Do we have anything else to talk about?
Well, do you want to talk about the bowlers that we've seen? No. We've talked about Jofra Archer and his.
Yeah, that's a cracking. But that is the one sort of. We were saying like, oh, you can't just put people from the short game and put them into Test match cricket. Well,
Yeah. Well,
it's worked well with him.
In fairness, Jofra Archer was the only opportunity he's had play for England is this summer.
They picked him for the World Cup, and he wasn't going to be picked for that.
Yeah.
Did well there, and they're like,
Got to give him.
we need some way of winning the Ashes. We need to pick him as well.
But they didn't play him from the first game, did they? Because he was injured. So they brought him for the second game. We saw obviously Jimmy Anderson. Is Jimmy Anderson going to come back?
I would think so.
You think so?
He won't retire without playing again.
He's not.
He'll just get fit. If it's to the point where he's like, I actually can't play anymore, he'll get fit so he can manage to play a game so he can retire in that game. He's not going to just never come back again and go, I'm retired now.
He's not in the.
I don't think
he's
so,
not available for the New Zealand Test series coming up in the
No.
next couple of months.
I can't see him never playing again and
So
retiring.
It will have to be in 2000.
He might come in
2020.
the summer.
Yeah, maybe
I could see
one
him
last
retiring
summer.
in the summer, yeah.
Yeah.
Or just one last test match and just be like, I can't play anymore. My body won't take it. I'll play one more test match.
He is
then call it a
one of
day.
the, from what I've heard, one of the fitter players in the.
Well, he looks
in the
exactly
team.
the same
Yeah,
as
he
when he
does, yeah.
started playing.
Stuart Broad had a brilliant series. I thought he did have a good series. I know you're saying, well, he
Get
pitched
like
it up and
David
he
Warner.
picked up wickets, and David Warner was his bunny, which was funny to see. Actually, David Warner really struggled against him, but Stuart Broad had a really good series. We did see Wokes, Curran, and Overton. Curran looks good.
There's a bowling spot available, isn't there?
Well, if Jimmy Anderson was to come back, is there?
I think Jimmy is.
Jimmy,
Yeah, I think Jimmy's limited, isn't he? His time is limited. I think there's a bowling spot available in that team.
and then there's been a lot of questions over Stuart Broad in the last year to 18
Well,
months.
he hasn't got that much longer left. I don't think either.
Do you think he'll find it hard to bowl without Jimmy?
No.
Do you think the skill is, well, his ability is depleting?
I think he's someone who he'll always be useful in
English
England.
conditions? Yeah, fair. He
just
does.
like Jimmy.
No, Stuart Broad does bowl a lot of, wobble seam balls. He does bowl a lot of cross seam. He does. He has got quite a lot of variety to his game.
He's been around for a long time, to be fair.
I
mean,
am a little bit worried about the three that we saw. Wokes, Overton. Oh, it was on the mic lead.
Sorry.
Wokes, Overton, and Curran. About them potentially taking the New England lineup. in the
Yeah, I don't
future.
think Overton is.
Okay, and we'll talk about.
He's
Yeah,
good
no, you're right. Wokes
quality.
and Curran are closer. Curran, I think, is fantastic in English conditions. Left arm bowler.
Yeah, definitely.
That could swing.
Yeah, definitely someone who, depending on the ground and what the weather will be like, I think he's someone that you look at depending on conditions.
Yeah.
I wouldn't take him to like Australia or something.
Though we used
for
to
an
take
actual
Hogarth
series.
to Australia, and he bowled a similar pace with right arm, but he would
It's
play it.
Hogarth.
I do feel bad for Wokesy though. I'm not sure where England stand with Wokes.
I don't know.
He's been a nearly man for so long now.
I think he doesn't, not to the same extent as, Mo and Ali got his chance just at something completely different to what he does. But I think he's like not quite been given the responsibility.
Yeah,
It's always like, we're picking you, but we've got these other guys
Yeah.
and you're
Ben
sort
Stokes will bowl
of,
him from
yeah,
you,
it's like,
even though
yeah,
you're the
you're
bowler,
sort of the
yeah.
backup and
Yeah.
you're going to bat, but you're not going to bat in an important position because you're not
Yeah.
really good with a bat. And it's like, I think if you're gonna pick him, I think we need to show some confidence. Be like, you're
It's
our
almost
England
we're
bowler.
asking too much of him without giving him.
Yeah,
the
it's like, we
tools to
want
do it.
you to be our number one
Yeah.
guy, but we're not going to give you the chance.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah, that's fair enough. Jack Leach as a spinner was something we.
Yeah,
prefer
I'm
to
more than
see,
happy.
isn't it?
More than happy to keep Jack
I
Leach.
think
no
Jack Leach had
problem.
a better series than Lyon.
I think it takes a while to just settle in to being playing international cricket and being an international spinner. I would, unless someone like rips it up unless someone rips it up in the county game, keep him. Don't change it. He's a spinner. He's bowled spin for ages. That's it. The only thing he does do.
Have you seen
Keep
this
him.
West Indies bowler, Cornwall?
The big lad.
Big ball.
He's big. Yeah.
I watched him.
Listen,
I watched his debut for West Indies,
if you're good enough, doesn't matter.
and his off spinners they turn into bouncers, and he's a big boy. He bats as well, which I like. Like, do you not think that's? I'm not trying to be disrespectful to West Indies.
Listen,
cricket.
it doesn't matter.
Samet Patel was 3 times less the size, and he was too big to play for us.
Was he good enough though? Listen, if you're good enough, no one cares.
No,
No.
that's
No,
why Cornwall's
listen,
in the team.
If there was an opening batsman of the
He's a-
standard of Alistair Cook in his heyday,
Yeah.
but he was 5 stone overweight,
Yeah,
no one would
we
care. Just like put him in the team. He's really good. No, that's
Like-
just stuff to fall back on if they're not very good. You go, well, of course he's not very good. He's overweight. But if he's good, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, and
Go for it.
I'm
I'm a fan.
There's some 2020 competition going on at the moment that I was watching him bowl the other day. Big boy. To finish off with, then we haven't talked much about Australia, but we wouldn't.
No.
Do you think the 2-2 was a fair result?
I think looking back at it, we could have nicked that. If it wasn't for weather at Lords,
Yeah.
we could have won that series.
So the first test we got battered in.
I
which
don't
is fair
think we
enough.
deserve to win the series.
No, the second test, but I think with the weather not being there, we would have gone and won that
Yeah.
test match. Obviously, the third we lost, make it 2-1.
Yeah,
We probably should have lost the fourth
yeah,
one.
that's just never happening again.
I
we,
do think
we robbed that,
yeah.
and then we outplayed
comfortable-
them in the last one.
comfortable one. I do think 2-2 draw actually.
Yeah,
It
I think
could
that's
have
a
gone
pretty
either
fair
way. Really, it could have gone
reflection, really.
3-2, 3-1, however you want to see it. I do think it's a fair.
I think
reflection.
Australia will be disappointed.
Yeah, I think.
They've got the better team.
Yeah.
They should have won that.
Yeah. And I think, like I said previously, it wasn't the best skills on show. We've seen better test series with players, but it was a very entertaining series.
Yeah. No, it was really good. Do we know what England's next series is?
Yeah, New Zealand.
New Zealand. That will be interesting. I don't know much about where New Zealand cricket is really. They don't play as much, do they? Well, England
No,
play
they
way
don't.
more than everyone anyway, but
And then I think I haven't got the fixtures in front of me, but I was listening to a podcast once, or it was an interview, and apparently, often test matches in New Zealand, the New Zealand cricket board or whatever the stadiums make a loss on it,
really.
so they don't.
Right,
They play
okay.
very
Yeah.
they're limited.
That's
tests.
a shame.
But I actually think they've got a pretty good test team, and I think that'll be a real battle for England
Yeah, it'll be good.
come November.
Look forward to that.
I think we'll leave it. We'll leave
Leave
it
it
there. Yeah, it's nice to be back. All your comments are
Appreciated.
appreciated.
Yeah.
And if you've got any ideas of where you would like to,
I think we're getting back into it. I think it was quite obviously a warm up. This bad boy.
yeah.
We're getting into it. We've
I
got a
think-
fresh computer, new computer. We're gonna get the rest of the equipment replaced. We're in a different setting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's gonna be hard for us to leave Cornwall for New Zealand come
It will,
October, November. But we'll
especially
we'll
because
have to
they
do
will
it.
probably have the Sky job then.
we'll-
I'll go
yeah.
to New Zealand. I'm alright with going there. I want to go there.
Yeah.
You don't. Oh, and the Rugby World Cup's on.
That has started now, hasn't it?
Yeah. New Zealand look good,
Yeah.
but they always do, don't they?
Who's gonna win that then? New
It's-
Zealand,
it's
South Africa.
Someone, I think it's obvious, but I think New Zealand need beating. Like someone's gonna have to. Obviously,
Fiji.
someone's gonna, no. Okay, so there we go.
We're going to try and put together a consistent upload. So our next one will be hopefully next Sunday, where we'll have new equipment and hopefully a theme tune and whatnot if things don't
Sounds absolutely cracking, mate.
materialise. Anyway, we hope you've enjoyed it. Hope to see you and speak to you. And
Bish bash bosh. We're out.